Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Chris Walker and Regina Belle. A big round of applause as they are about to join the stage. Yeah, 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 yeah. Uyothi wabonani mfazi ongazalanga. That is what we will normally say in isiZulu. When good and beautiful things are happening, we normally say the woman who doesn't have kids doesn't know the joy that kids bring in their lives. So by having you here at UKZN, that's the saying that is now coming, that like, wabonani, uyothi wabonani wena mfazi ongazalanga. So please, you may take your seat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon I would like to formally welcome our international artist, Chris Walker, and what happened to the sound? Sorry about that. And Mama Regina Belle. We are happy to have you here at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. We welcome you with your entire entourage. And we're looking forward. We know that tomorrow is a big day at ICC. I know everyone who is here already has tickets, isn't it? Yes, for tomorrow. But what I would like to say is that on behalf of our Vice Chancellor and the Principal of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, Professor Nanapoku, and also our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Nhlanhla Mkhize, we would like to welcome you at the University of KwaZulu-Natal at the Howard College campus. This is a very important campus, Howard College. Actually, it's built on one of King Shaga's crawl. We used to call it Kwakhangela Mangengane. So if you know King Shaga, if you know what he has done, and right now we are in the University of KwaZulu-Natal, a university that is named after the Zulu Kingdom. So we still praise King Shaga for that. I welcome you. And the School of Arts, where music and drama are based, is actually proud to be associated and also to have this opportunity, including our students. We are proud to have this opportunity to engage with you. We know that like it's not going to be a long long hours, it's few hours just to be with you and to learn a lot about your journey in your music, and also for our students to also learn from the best, from the very best. So I just want to welcome you, and also to say that as the University of KwaZulu-Natal, in terms of our strategic plan, internationalization is key to our work as the university. So to have international artists coming to the university and our students going to engage with them is actually talking to some of those objectives of our university language policy and also our university strategic plan. In the morning, I was listening to the interview for both Chris and Regina on Vuma FM, and I got to know the Zulu name for Chris. Chris has a Zulu name. And his name goes like this: Mahamba Mangoba.
All together, class. Mahamba Mangoba.
Yebo. Mahamba Mangoba. So the victorious one. Mangoba, the victorious one. So they are not strangers to South Africa. They have been here in South Africa before 2019. They were here and they are now back here. So South Africa is like home to both our international artists. So what I'm gonna do, because like I don't want to take a lot of time here. I've got colleagues who are supposed to do the actual work. So I think let me do that. I would like to first acknowledge.
You didn't give them my name though. You didn't give them my name.
Let me allow Regina to tell us what is her Zulu name.
Your Zulu?
Wezizwe.
Wezizwe. What's a name? Wezizwe. Sorry, Regina. Maybe I missed like when you were sharing your Zulu name. Wezizwe. Yo. What a beautiful name. So I'm going to record that name because like I'm an onomatician, so I won't forget it. I won't forget it. Colleagues, I just want to acknowledge the cluster leader for African languages, Professor Hauge Lengubane, who is here with us, and also acknowledge all our music colleagues who are also here and whom I will be calling to do some special items. May I now request Mr. Neil Gonzalez to come up in front to give us some background in terms of music, as we offer music at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, to tell us about what is it that we offer, what are some of our achievements as the music discipline, and also alumni and some of the partners that we work with as the music discipline. Neil, over to you. Thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a special warm welcome to our guests. It's great to have you here at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Thanks, Daniel. We are a very proud music department. We have our beginnings in actually 1972. And we come from a very rich cultural heritage. There's so many different traditions in this part of the world. Prof has already kind of tuned you in to our rich Zulu culture, but it really is a melting pot, rich, cosmopolitan sense, and especially growing into this kind of global world that we are very much part of, and also something that our students are particularly attuned to. So we have always been really invested and interested as a music department in this place that we come from, in the cultures that our school is rooted in. And so for that reason, in 1972 already, we were starting up first electronic music studio in any of the music schools in the country. The first jazz program in 1983 on the African continent, started by Professor Darius Brubeck, son of Dave Brubeck. The first African music and dance program, and Oscar, our opera school and vocal academy, which has also produced some of the best leading African opera singers in Europe now. Wow. So we have a rich pool of talent, and like I say, something that's always drawn very strongly from the community in which it comes from. Particularly vocal talent. So it really is a pleasure to have you here. And even though there aren't that many hairs on my gray head, I can still remember Peebo Bryson and Regina Belle and A Whole New World. So that was very much part of the soundscape within which we grew up in. That door just behind you there, at some point was office to both Joseph Shabalala of Ladysmith Black Mambazo and Hugh Masekela, wow, who were visiting artists. They were artists in residence as part of our program. And most recently, I'm not sure where he is, I pointed at the door and he's right next door, Blue Note recording artist and on our staff, also one of our alumni. So we are especially proud of Nduduzo Makatini, Blue Note recording artist, and like I say, on our staff. So, as I indicated, we've always been very interested in the culture and tradition in which we are rooted in. And these, especially, we have to pay tribute to our forefathers in the music department. People like Chris Ballantyne, our very own Patricia Opondo is here, who heads up our African Music and Dance program, because we also have a very strong academic program. And we've produced many of the leading educators. Actually, if you look at most of the music staff, teaching staff at the institutions, other tertiary institutions in the country, most of them come from here. Not only in the country, but also abroad. Film composers. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with a movie called Tsotsi. Academy Award. The composer for that was Mark Killian, who was a jazz alumni here before he went to LA. Zex Bantwini, Grammy Award winner, Black Coffee. There's no shortage of names. So like I say, we are a very proud department, but especially because all of those artists are rooted and expressing the culture of this place from which we come. And like I said, we've always thought of ourselves as a progressive department. And with that energy and spirit, we look forward to taking on the challenges of the music industry and music culture of today, because it is all changing so fast that we have to keep up with the trends. And I'm sure that is going to be part of the conversation as it unfolds later on. So thank you very much. I hope that gives you some kind of sense of what we do here. Thank you.
Another big round of applause for Mr. Nid Gonzalez. He is actually the director of this center where we are right now. So thank you very much. So now you know where we come from with our music offerings at UKZN. And I'm so happy that like amongst our young staff members in music, we have award-winning artists. At the back, there is also Mashilane. Yes. In addition to Nduduzo, who has done a lot of excellent work and also has also won awards, but like we are proud as UKZN as music that we have academics at the same time who are performing artists and who are not just performing, but like who are winning awards. Now, Chris and Regina, so that like you see what UKZN music is about, may I now call on stage Mrs. Debbie Murray, who's going to come and do an item here together with our students. So enjoy, colleagues. Debbie, over to you.
Greetings. I'm actually going to remove the mic so that I can stand facing you. Oops. I hope no one's disappointed. I'm not actually going to be singing an item. But welcome to sunny South Africa. Welcome to our beautiful city of Durban. The first job that I have this afternoon is easy. We have invited 2 of our music students to come and sing a song, so they will be doing the items, not me. I have the pleasure of introducing a third-year student who has just recently completed her final recital. This was an exciting moment for us because she was actually one of the first pop voice students, which is a new stream that we're offering here at UKZN. She was one of the first pop voice students to do a third-level recital. Would you please help me to welcome Kezia Varadarajulu. And it's kind of sweet because she's actually singing a jazz standard, even although she was a pop student. Sure. And Kezia is joined by Magashule Totela. He is a second-year jazz piano student. And, I'm sorry, I already made this mistake, of course. He's a first-year jazz student. I should know that, he was in my music theory class. Sorry, Magashule. And they will introduce their songs.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Debbie. Hi, I'm Kezia. You actually pronounced my name correctly. Nobody does that. Yeah. I was thinking about getting a Zulu name because my Indian name has failed me so badly. Ugh. No, Daniel, stop. Stop your nonsense. Today, I'm going to be singing Dream a Little Dream of Me. It came out in 1931, written by Andre and Schwant, the lyrics by Gus Kahn. I'm doing a very, very relaxed version, Makashule, because we're very lazy people. No, we're not. No, we're not. Okay, I am. But it's okay. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore trees. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty-night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I'll linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, you gotta make me a promise. Promise to me you'll be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I'll linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me.
Thank you, Kezia and Magashule.
Individually, based on what we just heard. Yeah.
Okay. So, would you like her to come back to the stage?
No, she doesn't have to come back.
Okay. So at this point, I'm just going to invite our guests to offer some feedback to Kezia, and they've kindly agreed to give us some feedback after each item. So I will leave you to it. Thank you, but I'll be right here.
Okay. Well, how's everybody doing? Let's try that again. How's everybody doing? There we go.
Yes, relax.
Yeah, I like this. Check it out. That's what it feels like. This is better, though. More inviting, more inviting. Well, no, the young lady, she did an excellent job. And what I really enjoyed about her performance was she was in it. She expressed herself, and there was a moment when the piano player got off just a little bit, and all she did was just kind of turn like, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay, yes.
Because she could have looked at him like, hey, you know.
Right.
But she didn't do that. She stayed
Professional.
She stayed professional, and she just, I mean, she sold that song. Such a beautiful job. Such a beautiful job.
Just excellent. Everything he said, but I genuinely appreciated, Kezia, how when you approached the mic, you immediately went to your space. I saw it's like you just forgot the room and just said, okay, I'm back in the 1930s. Do you see my feathers? And she gave us fever, and I love that because it's not just the singing, but it is the theatrical part that goes along with it. It's all the part of the art, and you gave us all of it. So thank you very much.
And one thing I'd like to add, the piano player. Where are you? Hey, first year student, right?
Yes.
All right, well, as you begin to develop and grow and keep your ears open, don't be afraid to take chances and have fun. There's perfection in the mistakes sometimes. So it's all right.
And I just admire the fact that first year student and you were not afraid to come up here and accompany. And that's the key, learning how to accompany. It is an art because you're not, in other words, you're learning how to play together, a kinship, as opposed to you're being a soloist and she being a soloist. There's parts where you kind of give and take to each other. And I really, really appreciated that.
It's more difficult than it looks, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful feedback. I'm sure our students appreciate that. How about one more round of applause for Magashule and Kezia? Next up, we have another first-year student, Tembeletu Bengu, and she will be accompanied by our very own director of the Center for Jazz and Popular Music. You've already met him, Neil Gonzalez.
Okay.
They have a special treat for you. She's a jazz. Yes, let me tell everybody that too. So Tembeletu is one of my students. She's a first-year student and she's studying jazz.
Good day, everyone. Today, I'm accompanied by Neil Gonzalez, and we will be doing La Kuchwani Langa. The song was composed by Makay Devashi, and in 1954, famously sung by Mary Makeba. Thank you. La Kuchwani Ilanga Zagubuyi Ngomo Ndakucinga ngawe La Kuchwani Yakuveli nyanga peshe ago lwanje zakubuyi ntanga lakho Johnny langa. Ndohamba ndikufuna ezindlini nasezitratweni ezibhedlela nasezitrongweni ndide ndikufumane lakutshoni ilanga zakubuyizinkomo andakucinga ngawe lakutshoni langa.
Wow. 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 The great thing about music is in any language, when you are passionate about what it is that you're doing, the music transcends the actual, language. You people will buy into what it is you're doing and what you're giving because of the way you present it. And I bought everything. I bought all of that. It was the entrance and her tonality was amazing. It's just like it did something to me on the inside. And Mr. Gonzalez, the solo was amazing. Thank you so much for that as well. I think the only criticism I might have is I just need a little bit more of your body to speak to me. As you're singing, I need you to give me something. I need that arm to go up. I need your head to go back. I need a dip or something in the hips. I don't know. I need something. I need you to talk to me a little bit more with more of your body as you're singing, because it's so beautiful, and I want the whole package. I want the whole thing. I don't want the apartment. I want the house. Just amazing. I thought it was great.
To me, of course, she has a beautiful voice, and I enjoyed it. And there's something about her shyness that I kind of liked, And the way she sung the song from back here most of the time. And in jazz, that can pull you in, as opposed to you hearing everything. As opposed to hearing everything. And it just kind of draws you in and makes you listen a little bit more intent. So that's one of the techniques that she chose to use, and I kind of like that, personally. So keep doing what you're doing, young lady. And like Regina said, you can put your hips into it if you want to, too. Very nice, very nice. And enjoyed the piano playing as well.
Thank you. And how about one more round of applause for both Neil and Tembeletu? And Miss Belle, you're speaking my language. Is that not something that we worked on in our classes, Tembeletu? Right. But I agree. I don't know where this came from, but I liked it. We had hoped that we would have more students singing for you today, but as you probably have already been told, we've just finished our exam session. A lot of our students have moved off campus and they've already left to go home. There are one or two students that have arrived that we didn't know were coming, so perhaps if time permits, we might have another song or two a little bit later. But I know we have other things to do this afternoon. But we hope that you enjoyed, and thank you so much for the constructive feedback.
Absolutely.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, give Chris and Regina an opportunity to tell us where they come from. Houston is here, New Jersey is here.
Thank you, Prof. So now we're going to move to a Q&A, and I have the honor and the privilege of facilitating the session, so I hope you all are going to make it easy for me. Prepare your questions, don't be shy. You know, let's perhaps as a way to start, we could start with a very nice question by one of our second-year students, Belle. Do you want to stand up and say hello? No, I didn't say I was going to do this. But it is nice for you to just say hi. Belle is a second-year pop student, and he would like to know, he's not going to sing for us today. Would you like to ask the question yourself? No? Okay, I'll ask your question. All right. Didn't mean to.
A shy second-year student.
Right? I thought you were going to say, no, I'll do it. Can I take the photo too? It's okay. I'll ask you a question. So, Belle would like to know, what was it, or when was it, that you both decided to pursue careers as singers? So, perhaps as a place to start, was there one sort of moment or one event or one time, or was it something that you just knew you were meant to do and you never really thought about it and it just evolved and you're still here today doing that very same thing? So how did it all start for the both of you?
For me, I started singing. My mom said I was singing before I was actually talking. And I started singing on what we call the Sunshine Choir in church at about 3. And I come from a family of kind of gifted musicians. My brother did many things for Whitney Houston, the Winans, Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, myself, and so on, et cetera, and so forth. So I come out of a family that sing, play instruments, and so on, et cetera, and so forth. And at 8 years old, I wanted to do the solo for the song "Oh Happy Day." And at 8, I didn't really have a voice. My cousins superseded me and said, well, no, you're not getting that solo. So I quit the choir at 8 years old. And I told my mother I was going solo. And my mom said, okay, let's do it. And my mom made all of my clothes, couldn't really afford to be in stores like that. So my mom was a really good seamstress. So she made me this beautiful white skirt and went to the secondhand store and got me this blouse. It was a purple blouse. And of course, I thought it was silk, but it was the two sisters, Polly and Esther. And they worked out just fine for me. And I sang my first solo in that outfit. And I believe it was then that I really knew that I wanted to sing. I was called for all of the functions within our family, from funerals to weddings to church functions. And they usually required no pay. But it was certainly a lesson in helping me to develop who I am. And then I went to college at Rutgers University, and I thought I was going to go into the accounting. And as I got closer to graduation, I prayed a prayer. I said, God, you have to get me out of this. I cannot be in anybody's office doing numbers. I will die. And so the Manhattans were looking for a vocalist. And this job came up 2 weeks after I prayed this prayer. And literally, I go into the audition. Overnight, I had to learn the song. Everybody else that I was in the auditions with had the song they were there for a couple of weeks. And I just knew this was my job. This was my chance. This was my opportunity. I'm taking it. This is my gig. And so I went into the audition, and I just sang flat-footed and gave it everything. And Gerald Alston, the lead singer, said, "I want her because she's not afraid to get ugly for notes." So, that was the beginning of my beginning going into the industry. I sang backup with them for 2 years, and I was the only girl with 14 guys. And I developed a whole lot of brothers because I tried to date and it was not happening while I was out there with them. And after those 2 years, I got a chance to open for them in Carnegie Hall, believe it or not. And that was my big break. After that particular, I did Anita Baker's "You Bring Me Joy When I'm Down, Oh so much joy when I lose my way, your love comes smiling on me." I sang that and I got my shot. And the A&R person, Joe McEwen, came to me and asked me if I wanted a record deal. I said, let me think. Yeah. And that was the beginning of where everything happened. But I think always in my life, throughout my life, I knew that I wanted to sing because it was just everything. Music was everything to me. I woke up singing, thinking about music. I went to sleep thinking about music. Me and my brother, we made music daily, nightly. We were, up late in the evening. And for us, when people are listening to music, sometimes, they're just kind of listening to it aesthetically. But my brother and I, we would listen for specific things. Like one of the things I loved about listening to Pastor Shirley Caesar, which is one of my mentors, I studied her so much that I knew where she took breaths in songs. I knew where I could feel where the power changed in the song. And so we studied things like that about the music outside of playing instruments, because I played tuba in school and steel drums and trombone. So I had an opportunity to go beyond the veil of theory, but actually what is in a song, the application, what does that mean to really emote a song. And so I took time out to learn those things because I wanted, like I said, I wanted the whole package. I didn't want to just sing a song, but I wanted to sell the story. And so that is pretty much my background of, how I just knew music was me, how I knew I was going to sing. This is what I was born to do.
And we're so happy that it had a happy ending.
Still moving, not ending yet, but still moving.
Still moving, absolutely. What was it like for you, Mr. Walker?
Well, for me, similar to Regina, I grew up in church. We had a family gospel group called the Walker Brothers, and primarily just sang quartet gospel music. That's what I was raised up in. And so fast forward, I graduated from the high school for the performing and visual arts. I filled out an application to go to the New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music in New York, and they told me not to come because I couldn't afford the tuition. Well, the Holy Spirit sometimes gives you instructions, and you have to move on it. So against my parents' wishes, I literally walked into the kitchen with my bags packed and said, "I'm moving to New York City." They were like, "What?" And I had a bass amp because I play bass guitar. That's what I did in the family gospel group and sang background. I bought a one-way ticket to New York and landed with $40. So school was already a month in progress. So the very next day, I go down to the school just to check it out. And as soon as I walked in, I heard music coming out of the auditorium. So I poked my head in out of curiosity. And just so happened, there were some musicians on stage playing, and they didn't have a bass player. So they motioned and said, "Hey, would you like to play?" I said, "Absolutely." So I get on stage and I'm playing along. The dean of the school walked in, and the instructor over the program and gave me a full scholarship to go to school. Look at God. So now, now in school I studied jazz, But, and I think it prepared me for New York. Now, I'll just tell you a quick brief story. When I was in high school, in 11th grade, it was a class assignment for us to go to Millard Duo Theater to listen to this concert and write a paper about it. Now, performing at this concert was an incredible French pianist by the name of Michel Petrucciani. I don't know if you know that name. If you don't, look it up. And the incredible Ornette Coleman, right? So I'm sitting there, and, you know, Michel Petrucciani came out, and I understood everything, you know. And then Ornette Coleman came out, and his first song was a song entitled Song X. I didn't know it then, but of course, later on, I figured it out. And after that, he lost me and everybody out on the hill. So I go back to school the next day, and I said to my teacher, what was he doing? And my teacher couldn't explain what he was doing. So I made a decision at that moment. I said I could never play with anybody like Ornette Coleman because I don't know enough about music. Well, ironically, when I moved to New York, the first two people I recorded with, Michel Petrucciani and Ornette Coleman. Wow. God wink again. So fast forward, okay, so I'm in New York, I'm playing with Ornette Coleman, and this is when I first got there shortly afterwards. And then I hear about an audition for this new up-and-coming singer by the name of Regina Belle. And the drummer said, hey man, why don't you come down and audition? So I said, okay. So I got on an audition, and I remember it like it was yesterday. She hired me on the spot, and shortly afterwards, I became her music director. Now, the turning point for me as a vocalist, I had given her a demo tape of a couple of songs just for her to hear my voice, but I was just singing background and playing bass in her band. And she did a song entitled All I Want Is Forever with James J.T. Taylor from the movie Taps. And she wanted to perform that song live, but he was never available, or he wanted $1 gazillion and a limo and everything else. So she was like, not happening. So hey, so I wasn't upset about it because it gave me an opportunity anyway. So she turned to me one day in rehearsal and she said, Chris, why don't you sing the song? And I said, no, that's okay, because I was a very shy guy, you know. And she said, well, just try it. I said, no. She said, just the first 3 lines of the song. So they started the song and I went, and I sang that, you know, all I want is for it. So I did that, right, a couple of lines. She stopped the band. She said, you're singing this song whether you want to or not. So that opened the window to the R&B world, so to speak. But what did it for me was one time her first tour, by the way, was with Frankie Beverly and Mays, opening for them. And we were doing a 15,000 seat arena. And you didn't come to sound check that day. I don't know if you remember that. But anyway, so the sound guy said, hey, Chris, would you mind checking Regina's microphone? And I said, okay. So when I checked her microphone and I heard my voice reverberating throughout that 15,000 seat arena, I said, this is it. This is for me. So at that point, I started writing my own songs, and I always believe in speaking things as if they're already done. I said, I'm going to get a record deal one day, and I'm going to be prepared when an opportunity comes. So when I got my first record deal, I had all the songs already written, you see. And God opened so many doors, and actually, because of Regina, it was a showcase that she did, and one of the executives from the company eventually left, Ruben Rodriguez eventually left and started his own label called Pendulum Records, and he signed me without a demo, without anything. So that's how I got my start in the business. Thank you, Regina.
You're welcome.
As you've already said, still going strong. So it seems to me that gospel music was quite an important and big part of your early careers, both singing in church and in KwaZulu-Natal we are blessed with a raging choral music tradition. We have a lot of students that come to university that have come out of the church or that come out of choral singing who eventually decide to either pursue choral studies or study jazz. So one of our students who couldn't be here today sent a question ahead of time, and she said, my phone's ringing. One moment, sorry. And no, it's not George. George would be my husband. She said, could you tell us how you've maintained your voice? Okay, yes, this was a vocal health question. So you've both had such vast careers, and we know that gospel singing is strenuous, it's big, it's bold, it's loud, and it is often the cause of vocal problems. How have you maintained such incredible vocal health throughout your careers? What is the number one vocal health tip that you could share with the singers in the room?
Rest. Number one. And for me, I do vocal warm-ups. You know, everybody, you know, the regular, all those things that I do. Those sorts of things as well. And what I like to do, and this is going to sound crazy, but I like riding my bike and singing the show. Because if I can build up the stamina while I'm riding my bike, when I'm doing it on stage, it becomes a lot easier. But I would just say, of course, not screaming, trying to avoid situations where you're in clubs screaming above the band, because that can damage your voice. And I kind of skipped that phase of my career because I never had to do that. You know, playing in the background, it was totally different. I was the one forcing the vocalist to sing louder. So that's what I would encourage you all to do, basically.
For me, he's definitely correct when he says rest. That is definitely a number one. It's amazing to me how my throat can feel like sore, and I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up and it's a brand new throat. So rest is amazing. I've drank throat coat for like 20 something years now, and I have it even without honey. It's just what is it? Slippery elm. So that really does a lot for me in terms of the tea. And occasionally, you know, some warm-ups, not so much, not as much as Chris does, but just something to open up my chords and make sure that everything's working okay. But for the most part, rest is to me, rest is just everything. When you are rested, you could be president. I mean, it's just you can rethink everything. But rest is important because, believe it or not, the stresses of whatever it is that you're going through, it will play a role on your vocal cords when you get ready to use them. I promise you, it all works together. So you really have to do a lot to maintain this. I keep, like, when the wind is blowing, I try to keep something on my neck. I never want direct air on my neck. So I'm real particular, and my mom say persnickety about those kinds of things, because this is my moneymaker. This is how I eat. So and I like to eat. So I want to take care of her.
And actually, I'd like to add something to this. From years of working with Al Jarreau as his music director, and I'm also, believe it or not, playing bass with George Benson too. Al would frequently use steam.
Yes.
And George Benson also, that's one of the things I noticed about both of them. But Al also took it a bit further, and he had a massager. And he would constantly massage both sides of his, you know.
Yeah, steam is amazing.
Yeah, so that's another thing that you can do, and I love steam as well.
Also, as a vocalist, sometimes when you don't always have it, when you're not at your A game, so to speak, it's a great thing to learn where to place notes, to put notes in other places that are more comfortable. And I don't know that I can really tell you how to do that. Right. It's something that you absolutely just kind of learn how to do. Kizzy is looking at me and she's nodding her head. Yeah, because there are times when it feels like I can sing the stratosphere. Then there's other times I feel like my range is about right here. And so when I'm in that space, I have to find places where I can place the notes where they're comfortable, they're clear, but I'm the only one who really realizes I'm not at my best. Does that make sense? So it's also about comfortability and knowing your voice, being able to do things that are both comfortable but still give great presentation.
So, you know, that's a difficult task, and also finding the balance between knowing your voice so well, looking after it,
right,
getting enough rest, when there's rent to pay or people to feed and right, but rest, 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 even when we don't want to, I guess. I think that there are any questions on the floor. We do have more questions from our students, but perhaps this is a good time to see if there's anything that's been said already that you would like to pursue, or perhaps you have a new question of your own. Anybody? Tuli, yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna forget. The first time I heard Make It Like It Was, I was at my dad's house. I was a little teeny pop, and I didn't hear the song again for a long, long time, but I could remember every lyric, every line of that song. It's so powerful. I'd like to know what it's about. Thank you so much for the session, the golden nuggets. And my second question, well, this is the actual question. Do they tell you which songs have radio play, and do we know what we can expect tomorrow night at the ICC?
That's actually 3 questions. Make It Like It Was is actually an inspirational song. It was written for me by Carvin Winans of the Winans family. And if you notice, many people tell me that, wow, back when I was, hanging out, Make It Like It Was my song. But what they don't realize, it's an inspirational song. The second verse says, at a certain time you would find me on my knees, asking you to supply all my brother's needs. Now, my husband's really a great dude, and he's like 6'3", and he's, all of that, but he ain't that good to be able to supply all my brother's needs. So, we're definitely talking about a spiritual thing. And so many people miss that. Because they played it on the R&B stations, and so they just automatically thought it was an R&B song, which I believe that spiritual songs need to go beyond categories, because you take away the ability to be able to touch people's hearts. And like you said you heard that, and then you didn't hear it, but you still remembered every lyric. That's what music is supposed to do. Music has a job. It's supposed to do something to you. It's supposed to change something on the inside, to show something up on the outside. And so that's the beauty of it. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that memory.
And your second question was about singles, right? How do songs, I guess, become popular, or who decides which songs are going to be singles? Typically, the record company does, or in this case, you all do here in South Africa.
Correct.
Because there are a number of songs that are popular here that aren't popular in the States, that they don't play on the radio. And but here, you all embrace the songs in a different way. It's like I don't know, they mean so much more to you here. And that's one of the things I love about coming here and performing here, because it's like a spiritual thing. It goes beyond just the typical singing a song. So to get back to your third question. It's also
work too.
Work?
Yeah, it's work. It's work. He's leaving that part out. So
this is
yes,
true.
We can romanticize. Yes. But it's also work, because many songs that we're going to be doing are not songs that we generally do in the States, but it was about complying with what the people wanted to hear. And so we went into rehearsals, and we wanted to make sure that we pleased you all.
Right.
So we're singing songs. I know I'm singing songs some that I have never sang before, and then some that I haven't sang since I recorded it. So it's amazing that we're at this juncture, and I really have to thank you, Chris, because he pulled together the band and the music and got the charts together and everything. So he's really worked hard on making sure that this presentation is everything that you guys need.
So our dean is signaling that our time is nearly up.
What?
Do we have time for one more question, Prof?
Just one more, and then we wrap up.
Okay, so we have we have 1, 2, 3. Were you first, Langa? Let us have it. Let us have it.
They need to rest. That's the thing.
Okay, very, very quick. This is just a fan of the sign. Happy? Okay. Thanks very much for coming. This is just a fan talking, so the question may not necessarily be that technical. To you, Chris, missing you. Yeah. And of course, I was listening to this song at the wrong time after just being dumped 20 to 30 years ago. But this is the real question. When I looked at the lyrics of the song, it always struck me as it should have been slow. Then missing you, and the tempo is just so different to what I would have expected. For songs like that, how do you choose the tempo versus the lyrics? I've always found it very fascinating. Thank you.
And to be honest with you, it's not me. It's the Holy Spirit working through me. I don't know how I've written all of these songs. It baffles me to this day. How do you heal a broken heart? Giving you all my love. I mean, all these songs, I sit down at the piano and I just start playing and a song just appears. And oftentimes it happens simultaneously. The lyric will come, and how do I pick the right chord changes or the right tempo or the right rhythm to go with those lyrics? I have no idea how that works. But I know that God is using me as a vessel. And I believe, and when I'm sitting there writing and I'm into it and I can feel it, and sometimes some of the songs make me cry like everything will be all right. I said, if I can feel it, maybe someone else will feel it.
Right.
And that's how I write songs. So.
I think it was 2 more questions over there. There's another question over there.
Okay, we have one more question. Who was the person? I think it was over here, someone. Would you like to come and ask your question?
Hi.
I'm Zikwana. I wrote down my question so that I wouldn't forget it. But you guys were basically talking about your journeys on the way to where you guys are now. And I wanted to ask, on your way to, your success and your careers, what felt like the biggest sacrifice at the time, but in hindsight was you letting go in faith to allow God to bring you to this place?
Wow. That's a really good question. For me, it was family. I'm very much a family-oriented person, and my children were growing up. And so there were obviously some things that I missed, some sacrifices that I had to make to do what it is that I'm doing. I'm grateful that I have a great village at home. My mother and my father been really great support systems alongside of my, some of my other relatives and some friends. But it's nothing like seeing first steps for yourself and, witnessing first words. And so from some children, I was able to get that, and others, I wasn't. I made all graduations because I made it a point of saying I'm never missing that because you can never get that back. But I think missing certain family moments was one of the greater sacrifices for me. But I wanted my children to also be proud of me. They see their father and doing what he does and bringing, what we call the bacon to the table, but also seeing their mother also carrying her own weight and understanding that it is wonderful to fall in love and be with someone who wants to provide for you. But until you get to that space, it's always good to be able to provide for yourself. And so I tried to represent that for my girls as well as my son.
And I can tell you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if it were not for my wife who's sitting right there. Because, Natalie. Because, we have one son, and I was touring the world, and she was at home holding down the fort, allowing me to, go off and explore all these opportunities. And our son, I was Al Jarreau's music director. I'll never forget it. Our son approached me one day and he said, "Dad, I need you home." I got on a plane. I flew to Los Angeles and had a meeting with Al and his management team and said, I'm done. My son needs me home. I can't do it anymore. And Al was not happy about it. And then see how God works. 2 years later, he called me back. My son, and I asked my wife and my son, I said, "Can I go? Is it all right?" And they said, "Yeah, I'm good now, Dad. You can go." And I went back with Al. So so that was one of the biggest sacrifices for me, and I wouldn't be able to do it without my wife.
Thank you. And that was a beautiful question. Thank you for that. And thank you both for your generosity and sharing your world of experience, your wisdom, and your love with us today. Thank you. We really do appreciate it. And while I'm about the thank yous, I know our Dean is going to wrap things up, but thank you also to TNS Platinum Records. We know we couldn't have done today without you. And before my Dean kills me, I have one last question, and that is, before you leave, could we please have a photograph with the two students and the pianist who sang for you today? I think it would mean a great deal to them.
Absolutely.
We'll catch you on the way out.
I have a question.
Sure.
By show of hands, who all have their tickets for tomorrow? What?
What? Did nobody raise their hands? What is going on up in here?
You're not coming to the concert?
Julie was the first one to buy her tickets. Literally. I'm ashamed to say that I will not be there. I have a gig myself.
Oh, well, good for you.
Not one that's as beautiful as yours, let me tell you.
Look, we're
Otherwise,
working.
I would be there.
Well, I was just looking forward to seeing these beautiful smiling faces in the audience tomorrow. But next time. Next time. You'll be there? Are you coming? Okay, good.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Debbie, for the excellent Q&A, and thank you very much to our excellent students, and you heard their voices. And Chris and Regina, you must know that most of our students are coming from very, very poor backgrounds. We attract students from no fee paying schools, and they really, really struggle when they come to the university. So when I heard your story, how you earned your way to the music industry, I was really touched. So we just want to thank you very much. But like the person who's going to thank you for putting your foot at the University of KwaZulu-Natal is none other than our Director for African Music and Dance, Dr. Patricia Opondo. She is our leader for the African Music and Dance, and she is doing a sterling work. Thanking you, and I really like your gifts, by the way. Over to you, Patricia. I won't be coming here, so as soon as she finishes, so that will be it, and then if there is an opportunity, maybe for some photographs,
Absolutely.
we'll really appreciate. I think many of our colleagues and students who are here are dying to take pictures with you, so we'll appreciate that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Prof. First of all, welcome. Welcome to South Africa. Welcome to Africa. Your love just emanates. When you walked in, the energy was just amazing. So my part is very brief. First of all, to thank the Dean, Professor Hlongwa, your energy, your love for us. You're constant. And even though it's a busy time in the semester, you pulled us together and we said, let's do this. And the teamwork that you bring, the way you bring us together, we really appreciate that. And your humility. You really are right down to earth, very accessible to us. So thank you, Prof. Next, I'd like to thank my colleagues in the music discipline, starting with our cluster leader, Professor Ngubane, and all our colleagues. There's so many, from Neil to Debbie, of course, to Nduduzo, to Mash, to Manyoni. All of us, we've done our little part to bring you home to our family. And the Center for Jazz has a really long history. And I think in our long history, it's the first time that we're hosting singers of this caliber.
Wow, we're first?
You're the first.
Yes!
Yes, I think the jazz instrumentalists get the front row.
All right.
So thank you. Your wisdom, your humility, the spirituality. I think all the voice students here feel very blessed. They've chosen their voice. They're very important. And I think the voice teachers, I think quite a few of them are here as well. especially about vocal health and rest. You know, how to handle the fatigue. So you've given us a lot of pearls of wisdom. So thank you. And Prof. Ngubane is our cluster leader. Voice. We need to push the voice program. Then, of course, we also always have to thank our sponsors. And we want to thank TNS Platinum Records for stretching this invitation to us. You could have gone anywhere else. So a really big thank you to you again and again. And the biggest thanks and the last thanks go to our two very special, our king, our queen.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. The love we have for you is through a Zulu love letter that is going to be personally delivered via none other than our sis Tuli.
Oh my gosh.
To Chris Walker, first of all. We have some gifts for you. We have the usual corporate gifts, but Prof. Longwa has a special, has given us some beautiful special gifts. And while Tuli is standing right next to one of her lifelong mentors, we want to thank Wesizwe, Regina Belle. Thank you for being such a beautiful flower. And not to say much else, but those photos will mean a lot, especially to our singers. So if you know you're studying voice, pop voice, jazz voice, don't be shy, because we won't know who you are. Well, Debbie will. So please come amongst the first. I'm not sure where we'll do the pictures, but I think your PR team, okay, we're doing pictures out. Okay, we'll let the PR team tell us where we're going. So thank you, everyone, and thanks the audience, because without an audience, there's no music show, and you've been really wonderful. This has been like class all over. So, and thanks for all our administrators. I know you're always in the back, Noktula, Cindy, Tuli. You're the glue that holds us all together, so thank you.
Next Chris Walker record, A Zulu Love. It's coming, I'm telling you. I feel it in my spirit.
Thank you all for being here. That is amazing. I didn't know that classes had ended. So thank you for just making the sacrifice to be here to just kind of have some conversation with us. This is great. This means the world to us. And this is one of the things that when Chris and I was talking about coming here, I told him the last time we were here together, and we did a Masterclass. And I told him, I said, look, we have to do this again because this is self-help. What we do and being able to talk about what we do, it's a self-help book. And so it was a great opportunity. So I'm glad that you showed up. I just hope that next time, because there's going to be a next time, I'm speaking that into existence.
That's right.
The next time it will be within the school year, so that we can have more students come out and we can have more participation. We can actually have more days so we can have more time to do what we do.